Today we're talking about something I've never shared before. It's my past as an extreme couponer. This is something I did for a very long time and I was awesome at it. I got so many things for free. It was like my greatest skill ever. For 6 years, couponing wasn't just a hobby for me or something I did casually. It was my thing. Every single week, I would bring home free toiletries, medicine, snacks, cereal, candy, any type of toiletry, makeup, personal care item, first aid, anything like that, I would get for free constantly. My favorite deal I ever got was Venus razors, which I got back in 2012. And that is because at the time, they were practically paying me to buy them. There were these things called money makers, which means that you would end up getting more money back in store credit than you were actually spending in store credit, and you could stack that with various deals, and they were practically paying me to take them home. But here is the thing. While I saved a lot of money, I walked away from it sort of slowly over time, and now when I look back, I realize that it was a huge mistake and a terrible waste of time. And that's why I wanted to do this video today, in case any of you are thinking about going down this path, because I know that prices are crazy in so many ways, and we're all looking for ways to save money, and this seems like a good idea. It seems really innocent, maybe kind of fun, and just a great way to bring down your grocery bill, but it's not. It's a terrible idea, and I kind of want to explain why. Couponing started costing me something more valuable than the money I would have spent on just buying shampoo like a normal person. So let's walk through what extreme couponing really looked like. The good, the bad, and honestly, the weird. It was really weird. And first, I want to explain what extreme couponing isn't. This is not, you get the Sunday paper, you see a few things that interest you, and you clip a few coupons and knock $2 off your grocery bill. That's not it. That is something that I would have laughed at. That was like amateur kid stuff. We're not talking about that. Extreme couponing is extreme. It is a full-time operation. So the way it works is you are combining store sales, manufacturer's coupons, and these like store credit type things like extra bucks where you get money back. And so I'll give you an example, like the Venus razors. First of all, this does not work at most grocery stores. Some it does. It's becoming less and less common. It's really more of a drugstore thing. So like for example, CVS, most drugstores have terrible everyday prices on things like this, but they will have an okay sale. But when you start combining all these things, that is where the magic would happen. So like Venus razors, you can get like the starter thing with the handle, and then it comes with one refill, and that is priced at some horrible price of like, this is back in the day, maybe like $12, and that would be their full price. But then they would run like, let's say a buy one, get one free. So instead of getting 2 for $24, you're getting 2 for $18. Still not a good deal, right? Nobody is interested in that. That's still a ripoff. Then, let's say they would also have buy $20 worth of Venus razors, get $10 back in extra bucks. And this is where the real deals would start to happen, because a lot of times people will get extra bucks. It will entice them to buy more. Oh, well, I had to spend $20 and then I'll get the extra bucks, so they'll buy more. The extra bucks will print out for them and then they won't come back and use them. So the drugstores are much more generous with these type of deals than they are with actual sales where you're handing over less money. You're spending the $18, you're getting the 2 razors, and then you're getting 10 extra bucks back. And now, let's say there's a coupon for $2 off a starter pack of Venus razors. So you're getting the extra bucks back, so that's 8. You can get the coupon for $2, so it's coming down to $4. Once your extra bucks are subtracted out, you're spending $4 for the 2 Venus razors. I still wouldn't have done that. In this situation, we would lower the prices a little bit and we would have it so that it's all evening out. So you end up showing up with the 2 coupons, spending $8, yes, spending $10 and then getting $10 back in extra bucks. But the $10 that you're spending is extra bucks that you've gotten from the previous week. So you hand over your extra bucks, your total comes down to 0, they give you 10 extra bucks back, and now you just walked out the door with these Venus razors and you haven't had to pay anything. But as you can tell, this is very complicated. The math has to work out just right. So let's say you go into the store and they only have one, you were gonna do this deal like 6 times over so that you were gonna end up with 12 of them. And they don't have enough. and it doesn't work out. You don't have enough to hit that 20 and get the extra bucks back. Now your whole plan has fallen apart. So that means you have to go to the grocery store first thing in the morning. Here's another consideration. You needed 6 of these $1 Venus coupons. If you get the paper, you only get 1 set of coupons. So you can maybe get 1 or 2 more from friends. Other than that, you're buying coupons, which actually did make sense in many cases. You're buying extra copies of the paper, things like this. There's a lot of details. There's a lot of things that have to go right. And if that price had been like that, whole scenario only worked at a certain price and required a lot of thinking to get there. Anyway, that's my point. This is why it's so complicated. So imagine that was just one deal. Imagine we have these things happening at multiple stores. Every store, you got your Rite Aid, Walgreens, CVS, Kmart was another one I loved, and each of them would probably have like 3 major deals per week. You have to hit up each of those stores. Every scenario has to go perfectly. You have to have the right coupons, and you have to have spent like 5 hours at least per week planning this shopping trip. And if something goes wrong, the whole thing falls apart. So it took hours researching deals. You could do them on your own, which was fun, or you could read forums. There would be very, very popular forums where people would share their deals and then they would do trip reports. You can write to companies for coupons, buying coupons online. I loved this. Like, I lived for this. I would be up at night looking on forums, looking at discussions like, when will the March Finish dish tabs date be announced? Because every March there would be this huge coupon on Finish dish tabs, and that was your chance to stock up on those for the whole year. And I would post my own trip reports, like $18 moneymaker at CVS, and people would give you the little clappy reaction and you would be very proud of yourself. And every Sunday morning at 7 a.m., I would have to hit up CVS, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and this was not a leisurely stroll through the aisles. It was a buying frenzy. There would be other couponers there trying to get your stuff. I wasn't just shopping for things I needed. I was buying anything that would generate more of that store credit, even if I didn't want it, even if I didn't have room for it. So that sounds crazy, right? But still, that wasn't even the main problem. What sticks out to me the most isn't like the deals that I got. It's the things that I missed out on because of all that time spent. So I remember my oldest as a baby sitting on the floor. I would have all my copies of the paper, everything spread out. I'd have my pages written and start putting things in my binder. And the coupons were these shiny little rectangles. And so she crawled over and wanted to see them. And I pushed her away and said, no, I'm planning for my shopping trip, get away. And I told myself that I was doing this for my family. I was saving money for my family, but really at what cost? And that is the point that I want to make. I did this because I thought it was a great and good thing to do for my family. It would make me a good mom, a good housewife, and I just didn't realize how if I had directed that energy into anything else, like truly anything else, like cleaning my fridge, making dinner, reading to my kids, anything more productive, how much better off my family would have been. This was not a good use of my time. And that's something that people don't tell you about extreme couponing. When you see those videos with their carts full of stuff, it's not casual. To get stuff for free, you have to be all in on the planning, the researching, the strategizing. You are forced to keep a stockpile. Those credits expire. You have to keep generating them. When the week of deals comes up, if there's nothing you want, it doesn't matter. You still have to go do it to generate them, because sometimes you'll need them to be money makers to fund things you do want, and sometimes you just have to keep it rolling. So you have to keep shopping, even when you don't need anything. And worst of all, this traps you in this mindset that you are a consumer and your job is to buy as much as possible. And if you can do it for less, all the better, that's great. But really your function is to shop, and that's not true. And instead of just saving money, it makes you weird and obsessed. Like, I started doing weird stuff because you have to keep stockpiling. So I would put cereal under my bed. I would put shelves of body wash in the basement. I would have bags of candy that nobody even wanted. And I would throw out unfinished stuff because I'd want to try a new scent, and I'd be like, whatever, it was free. It just became so wasteful and so much. And I didn't stop because I had some great revelation. I stopped because we moved to a small house. I had nowhere to put anything. I had another baby. It just felt hard to get out of the house. I wish I could say I had this moment where I was like, this is consumer culture, I'm over it. But that is not what happened. I just kind of almost became too lazy to do it and too busy with other things, which is a good thing, really. So looking back, I can see how silly it was, because it didn't make me less of a consumer. It just made me a more savvy and obsessed and weird consumer. I was still obsessed with stuff. I was thinking about stuff. I was always arranging my stuff, thinking about what to buy, where to store it, how to get it, what my next plan was gonna be. I always like to say it's like kids quitting smoking, but then for the rest of your life, you're chewing nicotine gum forever and ever and ever. It's still that same bad habit, it's just being fed in a different way. So really, if you're feeling like tempted by this, I just want you to not do it and to look at the carts of things that these people are getting and realize that that is just a bunch of junk and you don't need any of that stuff. You don't need 7 Venus razors that don't even come with enough refill cartridges. It's just razors and just doing all this weirdness to get stuff free. It's just about getting what you need and only what you need when you need it. I mean, these days I don't have anything like that. My bathroom cabinet is not overflowing with products. I don't have a stockpile. And I'll just end with this story. So 10 years ago, I would never have paid full price for any type of toiletry. Not shampoo, toothpaste, nothing. I wouldn't have paid a single cent for it. I would only get it if I could get it for free. And the other day, and so now usually I just kind of get stuff at Costco, but the other day my husband was totally out of shampoo. He uses Head and Shoulders, and I was at CVS filling a prescription and I saw it and it was full price. It was like $8.99 for this small bottle, which is, you know, a terrible price. And of course it would have been smarter to get it at Costco. But my point is I saw it and instead of being weird about it, I just put it in my cart, paid for it, moved on, and decided to spend my time in hopefully a more productive way. So thank you for watching. I hope I've scared you off. If you're curious about it and you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. It's something I still kind of like to talk about. I am definitely a shopper by nature, so it appeals to me, but it's not worth it. Don't do it. Thank you for watching though, and have a great day.